I told my sister to stop acting as if my fiance were her son's dad. My sister had my nephew Joe during her first year in college. The father is absent in his life and only pays CS. She has always hated the idea of my nephew growing up without a father figure. Since her only brother is 17 and our dad passed 10 years ago, she dated recklessly for a while and introduced him to a bunch of dudes. 3 years ago, I met my now fiance, Gabriel. He's really sweet and adores my family. He's financially stable, and is good with kids, has a bunch of nephews on his own, and comes from a good, big family. We've decided to be child-free, and if something happens to my sister and a few of Gabe's siblings, we're meant to be their legal guardians. My sister has grown comfortable pushing Joe around Gabe for the past year. She always invites him to my nephew's activities, which is fine, but she acts as if Gabe were her guest and I'm his +1, not otherwise. Plus my brother used to be the one who got invited and he's not anymore. She asks Gabe to drive her and Joe to places, and my mom pointed out how they look like a family when he does it. She jokes about how much of a dad Gabriel is for Joe, and she had the audacity to ask him once if he was comfortable with adopting Joe, but she was intoxicated, so I'll give her that. Neither Gabe nor I are comfortable with this. He doesn't know how to push it aside without hurting their feelings. My mom has told my sister countless times how this is inappropriate, but my sister always gets defensive and says that Joe chose him and is not her fault. Things blew up last weekend when Joe asked Gabriel if he could call him dad because mom said it was fine. My sister was looking at them with the biggest smile on her face, and I could notice how my mom and my brother were expecting his answer. Neither of them agreed with it too. He sat Joe on his knee and kindly explained to him how he wasn't his dad or even a dad figure, that he was Aunt's soon-to-be husband, and that made him his favorite uncle, but even if he wasn't his dad, he would never leave him, and they'll always be best friends. Joe, being the sweet kid he is, laughed and smiled and said that it was okay, and then he ran to the living room to play with something. I think the situation resolved itself okay, but my sister didn't like it and started to fight with us. My mom kept telling her to shut up, but she was saying things like, "What's wrong with you two? How can you say no to a little kid? He sees you as a father, so you should be proud of that." I had enough, and I told her that Gabriel wasn't Joe's dad and that she needed to stop acting as if he was because it was honestly embarrassing. She called me a selfish a-hole and said that I was jealous of her kid. I just rolled my eyes, and we decided to leave after. She later texted me saying that it was best if we stepped out of Joe's life for a while, or we would end up confusing him because he doesn't understand that Gabriel is not daddy. But as far as I could see, he got it pretty well, and I think she was the one who doesn't understand that.